Good evening, KP Heathen. How are you doing? Hello, Bud Files. I'm going to have to find the button to make the image turn around so it's not a mirror. Let me see. Is that going to do it? Highlight saved to your channel as unlisted. Anyway, there's some things I still need to learn about live streaming. And I was having a long talk with Dave, about 45 minutes today. He's still in the hospital. And we were talking about YouTube issues. I would ask that you pray for him. 2 in the house and 3 likes. Well, Uncle Al, I've got notes. As soon as a few more people get in here, I will start going through it. Yeah, I pray for Dave too. He's got some issues he's trying to work through. He's living with a brother-in-law. He's looking for his own place now. He's got some feelers out trying to find his own place. He's a good man. He's involved with the ministry in his church. And his channel has been growing, really been growing. More power to him. So, tomorrow, another week of school. And in 2 weeks, we'll have the Easter, Good Friday weekend, Monday off as well. So I'll have a 4-day weekend. Well, he knows how to do things. He knows how to take advantage. He knows how to do things. He also has support networks to help him. His channel has, he's, and he has gotten tons of views and tons of watch time. He could have been monetized a long time ago if he wanted to. Yeah, he has tech support that I lack. It is what it is. I have a little bit of tech support, like The last couple of thumbnails, my paraprofessional used Canva and made them for me. I'm going to have her make me another one. It says Taco Talk. And I've got that kind of support now. Three watching and 4 likes. Well, you know the things that, you know what really aggravates me? And I'm going to just basically tell you. Somebody comes onto your live streams just about every day, every time you have one, leaves a couple of comments, never leaves a like. Never leaves a like. Hello, Little Lone Prepper. And I would assume you know who I'm referring to. So I was planning on blocking that person from my channel because I'm just aggravated about it. And then one of my YouTube friends, who's very supportive, said, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And I didn't do it. But I'm really aggravated. Because I've asked them several times, why is it you will not leave me a like, but you come on my channel? And this is basically me having a little rant right now. Uh, 5 in the house, 6 likes. So today's topic is in 2 parts, provided by my guru or mentor, whatever you want to say, Uncle Al. Thank you for leaving a like. I know you do. I pretty much know everybody who comes in leaves a like except for one person. And I don't know. They don't care. They don't have manners or home training or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't cost them anything to leave a like. And but anyway, so today's topic is in 2 parts. As we go into the summer in less than 2 months, we have April and May. What is your pocket carry? What do you carry? Uncle Al has done several videos and shorts showing stuff that he carries in his pocket. You know what he carries. Part 1, the things you carry on you. Well, for one, a pocket knife. Something that you can use to cut open stuff. A cutting tool, a good pocket knife, good sharp pocket knife. Of course, you carry your keys, KP, and your cell phone, your wallet. No, I don't do cigarettes. Sometimes I carry a lighter, sometimes I don't. And a snack, something to eat, chewing gum or something to eat, a snack. cash, your ID, which is in your wallet. Uncle Al talks about an analog watch. Well, I carry $32 on Amazon, and it does have the month. Well, the day of the month, it should say. It has the day of the month. Mom carries baby wipes. Never know when you're in a pinch. Yeah. Good to carry these. A pen. You know, I carry a Bic ballpoint pen. Uncle Al says a metal pen or a wooden pencil with notepad. I don't carry it in my pocket, but I've got several Write in the Rain pads, which I carry in my bag with a Write in the Rain pen. So you can write even when it's wet. Hillbilly Josh. Hello, Hillbilly Josh. Welcome. And well, we carry our smartphone. He said a pocket space blanket. I don't carry that in my pocket, but in my carry bag, I carry several of the little disposable ponchos, as well as the little pocket Mylar blankets. Carry a couple of those, a couple of each actually. They're good to have, KP. They're good to have. And Uncle Al said 20-foot of paracord. Now, I could imagine trying to carry all that in a couple of pockets. It's a little bit more than I would want to carry. Yeah, that's a good idea. You always carry water. You always carry a bag or something other that you can use to get home. So a snack, a cutting tool, a fire making device, mud mower diesel. Hello, welcome. Yes, Uncle Al, I have that vest you gave me. I never did get the thing. I wanted to see about getting it dyed because I did not care for that bright yellow. I like to do the gray man. I don't want to wear something that just sticks out from the color, you know. So I try not to wear stuff that's just, you know, sticks out. But it's a very nice vest, and at some point I hope to get the thing dyed. A snack, a cutting tool, a fire making device, cash in your ID, an analog watch, metal pen or wooden pencil with notepad, smartphone, pocket space blanket, 20-foot of paracord. I would also say where I live, there are times when I carry. It's legal to carry here, open or concealed. I usually do it concealed. But there are times, depending on circumstances, where I'm going. I usually have a self-protection in my vehicle with me, and there are times I take it and you know, I carry it. Uh, 4 in the house, or 5 in the house, 8 likes. And it is a slow evening. So, part 2, urban and suburban threats. What do you consider to be a threat? Well, we talk about the Summer of Love 2.5, the communists and the socialists. They're raising Cain right now. They're the left wing of the Democratic Party, 25% of their population. Just the ones that just want to burn everything down, that just rage. No matter what happens, it's just rage. Yeah, you could say they're thugs. They use as much disorder and chaos as they possibly can. They try to create that. They're all about creating chaos. They want to disrupt everything. And yes, the get-home bag for short trips is different than the other get-home bag, yes, for longer journeys. They're both different than my bug out, and yes. Yes. Have it in your vehicle, and if something comes up, then you take it with you. Pre-retirement days. Hello. Thank you for coming. So using protests and demonstrations against the current regime, that's their goal. Most people think that the First Amendment gives them the right to create chaos. Freedom of speech, legal rights, right to peaceably assemble. That doesn't mean the right to have a riot or to destroy stuff, to attack people, to block traffic. That's not part of your rights of peaceable assembly. The right to air grievances in a civil manner to authorities. You can go to meetings, you can speak. You can contact your congressman, your senator, your city councilman. That's what they're there for. You can go to a city council meeting, speak. They have hearings on stuff. You can go, take notes, voice your opinion during public audience participation. Vision preparedness. I have to check out that channel. have to try that. I'll have to contact that one. Try that channel out. Screaming, yelling, making noise, chanting. There's a lot of idiotic people out there. You try to have a conversation with them, and you ask them something, or you ask them, why do you believe what you believe, and they can't tell you. They only know that the orange man is bad. You know. When you point out that the Republicans were the ones that freed the slaves, and that the Republican states never had slaves or slavery, and it's been several generations since anybody who owned a slave has lived. You know, most agreements came over, they didn't have slaves. And when you try to explain it to somebody, a lot of times they give you that look like the lights are on and nobody's home, or like boing, like a small light bulb just came on. Small light bulb. And yeah, drop the link. That's a good idea. Feel free to do that, KP. I thank you. I mean, you've got people who are doing, I mean, they publicly use the restroom. It's just disgusting. The stink, the just the crap that people leave. They go out and they just, I mean, there's no shame. They're out, they you know, they're doing drugs. You got people running around half naked or naked, having sex, and doing all sorts of stuff out in public. Committing acts of violence, intimidation. Most places only listen to certain voices, usually the ones who are running everything. The golden rule, he who has the gold makes the rule. Yep. Corruption starts at the bottom. That's true. Little lone prepper. Destroying private property, public property. They want to take down all these statues. They want Civil War leaders, Confederate leaders, Southern leaders. They want to take down all those statues. Now they're wanting to take down the Northern statues. They're wanting to go after. They're wanting to go after George Washington now. They want to go after Abraham Lincoln. I mean, they don't know who they're going after. They create civil unrest. They commit acts of violence. You know, and they tend to do it in blue-controlled areas. They don't tend to go into red-controlled areas and do that, because that's a good way for somebody to do something to them. You know. Yeah, they're wanting to rewrite history. They say you tell a lie often enough, people will believe it. Yeah, give them an island somewhere. 8 watching and 9 likes. Thank you, Uncle Al. Yeah, well, they don't know that Martin Luther King was a Republican. After the war, when they were going through what was called Reconstruction for a period of about 10 years, one of the Confederate generals had been a 4-star general, big, one of the top generals in the Confederate Army, been a very successful general. His name was, and he started out very low ranked, and he just rose up because of all the stuff that he accomplished. Nathan Bedford Forrest created the Ku Klux Klan. They would wear sheets en masse, and they'd have torches, and they'd ride at night to intimidate, to attack people, to destroy property, burn property, wanting to keep the former slaves in their place. And the Klan was real big for about 100 years. Pretty big for about 100 years. And then the FBI and the government really started going after it. The Klan, like in 1925, during the Roaring Twenties, the Klan had a 1,000,000-man march through Washington, D.C. And I don't know if it was 1,000,000 men, but there are pictures of them, just an ungodly amount of them marching down the thoroughfare. Tens of thousands of them. You know. Hello, JC. Welcome. Oh, just trying to talk with my folks. See how things are going with everybody. You know how it is. It is what it is. You should see where you just picked up another follower on my backup channel. So I got you on both my channels. Yeah. Mike Crusher Reviews, my man. So I've been working on trying to put out a few videos, and the next one that will be coming out will be KP Heathen's follow-up goodies, which I've been working on. I've got a couple of segments of it. I try to change the camera angle, and I pause, and then I'm trying to be a little more professional than just to run through it, and I have to troll him a little bit in the process. So, but he's a real good guy, and I'm sure everybody here right now knows KP and probably is connected with him. And if you're not, you need to be. He puts out really good content, and he has been using some of the things that I have sent him in his efforts to, heat his food and make videos. And I've really enjoyed, when he's done that. I've enjoyed watching the stuff. And truthfully, I have not been by recently, and I apologize that I have not been by recently, but it's been, just, how things are. It's the grind. Um, and my friend Mike Crusher Reviews. Hey, Mike, you got anything new for me to look at? Let me see what I can see. Now, I'm looking on the backup. So let's see. Chicken stir fry. 2 days ago, the 22 Canadian IMP. I got to look at that one. Yep, I'm behind. I may look at that right after this is over. Mike is my go-to man for reviews. And dag dabbit, I feel like doing a review, so I may be doing one in the near future. I haven't done one in a while. It's been a while since I've done a review. People would say, well, he's a ration channel. I've done probably 15 or 20. I haven't even counted. I've done about 15 or 20 reviews in the last years. It's probably been a year since I've done a review. And I feel the urge to do. I feel a review urge coming on. So I'm gonna try to do something other, and I'll try to use a camp stove to heat water and show, basically do it probably out on the patio or something other to show, what you would do if you're out and about, and you're doing one. Making pumpkin soup topped croutons and toasted pine nuts. That sounds good, Uncle Al. Sounds good. Oh, while I'm at it, one of our brethren, I'm trying to get him to 100 subscribers, and he's been a content creator for a long time, and he's at like 93, 94 subscribers. I'm subscribed on both my channels. His channel is Sir Guy, SIRGUY 104, Sir Guy 104. I would appreciate it if y'all would go over and give him some love, and let's get him over 100 subscribers. I was communicating with him, and I told him, I said, I'm trying to hit 1900, and he says, well, that's fantastic. He was commenting on some of my stuff, and we were communicating back and forth. And he said, well, that's fantastic. I'd be happy if I could just hit 100. And I woke up last night, or I woke up this morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just started looking at his stuff, his recent stuff he's put up. He's put up some pretty good stuff. And he's got some pretty good preparedness stuff. Pretty good stuff. And I'd like to try to get him over 100 subscribers. So in the goodness of your hearts, every once in a while I recommend somebody, like when I was trying to get Pastor Justin Green, God's old man, trying to get him over the 1,000. He was like in the 990s, and for a period of a couple of months he just couldn't get those last. I don't know if it was the algorithm or whatever. He'd pick up a couple of channels, then he'd drop them. He'd pick up a couple and he'd drop them. And I was just doing everything I could to try to get him over that 1,000. And finally it happened with the help of some really good people. And he's probably at about 1,020 now. And his content, pretty much, most of his content is scriptural related. He does, every Sunday, he does a Bible study. He does a chapter or Bible study. Does some good graphics, some good notes. He does a great job. And it varies anywhere from 7 or 8, 10 minutes to maybe 15 to 20 minutes. His Bible studies. He does one every week. And he only gets a handful of views on it. And I try to make sure I leave him a view and drop him a couple of comments and try to run the whole thing for him. But Sir Guy 104, if y'all would, please help me get him to 100 subscribers. He's like at 93, 94. He needs like 7 subscribers, and he'll be at 100. And I'm sure that will make his day, and it'll probably make his week. if y'all would. All right, I missed something other. What's oh, raccoon poop? Ugh. I don't know. She got it. She got in it yesterday too. I thought it might be raccoon poop. Ugh. Skunk. Hate skunks. My dogs killed a skunk and it sprayed them. And man, they brought that ugly smell into our house. It was awful. And then the next day we found skunk remains and it stunk for about a week. Not good whatsoever. We're 36 minutes in. 8 in the house. 11 likes. So let me, for the benefit of those of you who came in here just recently, let me see if I can go back over what we were talking about. So today we basically have two parts to the topic. As we go into summer in less than 2 months, we have April and May. It will be heating up. What is your pocket carry? Dump, trash, what do you carry? And part one is the things you carry on you. So, of course, just listing a few of them without even looking at the list, you carry your wallet. And you probably have a little cash, a little bit of change, debit card, credit card, your identification. Had this out because I went and got gas today. A little cash, change. I carry quarters. You carry a pen, something to write on, a little notebook. You know, it's a small one. Something like this. Or you carry like a Write in the Rain pad, Write in the Rain pen. I carry those in my bag. I don't carry them in my pocket. Creative redundancy. Hello. And Alacanada. Welcome. Welcome to you both. Thank you for joining. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. How am I? Well, I'm getting ready to go back to work. Another week coming. And I got 2 weeks, and then we're off for what we call Easter. We'll have the Easter weekend, Good Friday, Saturday, Easter Sunday, and the following Monday. Yeah, dogs can have accidents. Dogs can have accidents in the house. So you carry something to make fire with, a lighter, some matches, a cutting tool, which basically be a pocket knife, maybe a multi-tool, something that would have a bottle opener, a can opener, maybe a screwdriver, Phillips head, multi-tool, little, you know, like a Swiss, you know, Swiss Army knife or pocket knife, whatever. Metal pen, wooden pencil, notepad, your phone, of course, pocket space blanket. You know, the little, I mean, I send those to people. And very small, little Mylar, little pocket blankets. I normally carry in my bag a couple of the ponchos in case it starts raining. You slip on a disposable poncho over yourself to keep from getting wet. 20 feet of paracord. Uncle Al said 20 foot of paracord. A battery bank for content creators. Well, you can get the little small ones. You can get the little small ones. They're about the size of a cell phone to recharge your phone. Always good to carry water, a bottle of water, a snack or two, something hygiene, like a lot of times I carry these in my pocket because my nose is running. Or I'll carry little Post-its. I carry a little pad of Post-its, individual pad of Post-its in my shirt pocket. So part 2 would be urban and suburban threats. Now, you know, threats come in many forms. And you have to look at where you're at. There are places that are run very poorly. Law enforcement suppressed. They're underfunded or they're defunded. They don't get support. There are places where it's not safe to walk around. You know, people will attack you. Big cities, blue run big cities. And, you know, you have to watch your back. You got to be cognizant of what's around you, who's around you. You have people wanting to, they're up to no good. You know, they're up to no good. And they're always looking for opportunities to, you know, do bad things. So, part 2, which is urban and suburban threats. The Summer of Love 2.5. Communist and socialist. The extreme left wing of the Democratic Party. Used to create as much disorder and chaos as they possibly can. That's their goal. Using protests and demonstrations against the current regime. Oh, they're raising hell. The Republicans are in control. Yeah, the Bay Area of LA. You know, California. 52 congressional seats. 9 of them are Republican. 9 out of 52. Los Angeles, the entire city council, you know, the entire city government's Democrat. The entire kit and caboodle of them. Most people think that the First Amendment gives them the right to create chaos. Freedom of speech, legal rights, right to peaceable assembly. It says peaceable assembly. It doesn't say right to go riot. It says peaceable assembly. To air grievances in a civil manner to authorities. Contact your congressman, your senator, your city councilman, your state representative, state senator, the mayor, whoever. Respectfully, go to a meeting, participate in audience participation when you can sign up to make some comments. They usually give you a few minutes. No, destruction's not peaceable. Most idiotic people are sheeple, are breaking the laws, the herd, you know. Screaming, yelling, making noise, chanting, performing sex acts in public, acts of violence and intimidation, destroying private property and public property, creating civil unrest, and violence. Other urban and suburban threats and weather-related and sudden changes. The weather can get really bad. Tornadoes. Hurricane season will be coming up starting in June. Natural things happening. They can be, yes. No shame. Yeah. They have no home training. They weren't brought up in a decent family environment. So you can't expect any better from them. I will be 63 years old next month. 63. And I could say 3/4 of my life is over. And that would be anticipating that I'd live for another 20, 25 years, which no reason I can't. But I've lived through a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of changes. And the people that I grew up around and with, they were from the generation of the Second World War. So I grew up talking to adults who had experienced the 20s and the 30s. And they could talk about the Depression, and they lived through the Depression of the 30s. Yeah, Uncle Al, like I've got a couple of 12 gauge pump shotguns. I really don't, I'm getting to the point where I really don't, it's been a while since I've shot one. And yeah, buckshot. But my preference, and I gave one to my daughter, is a 20 gauge, which would basically you'd load triple-aught buck, 3-aught buck, and that would be my preference. The double-aught would basically be overkill and would kill my shoulder. And this is the shoulder that I have the arthritis in, so I don't, even with the pad and everything, I said, no, I don't want to, I really don't want to get into that. Um, I really don't want to get into that one. But yeah, yeah. We think about that kind of stuff. Now, I will tell you, and I'm not going to pull one out and show you. Uncle Al would have a heart attack, and I'd probably get a strike or I'd get taken off of YouTube. But I'm a big pistol person, so the idea would be carry a revolver, like a 350, 357. And I basically load 38 plus P, which is the sweet spot in between 38 special and 357, 38 plus P. And then I've got a couple of speed loaders that I keep loaded, and it's all hollow point. And, you know, good 3-inch barrel. Some people like a 4-inch barrel. 3-inch barrel's, you know, fine. That's my preferred. And, you know, and I got a 9mm, but and a 380 and a 32 and a 22, and, you know, 25. But and no, I don't have a 44 Magnum, and no, I don't have a 45 ACP. That's Uncle Al and his overkill, you know. No, I don't have that. Yes, Uncle Al. The communists would do the best they could to try to get you. Oh, good Lord, at OnlyFans. I could just imagine the heathen doing YMCA dressed as the Indian. With this little teepee in the background. Oh man, I'm sorry. Just having fun. No guns on live stream. Yep, nope, no guns. God almighty. Yeah. There was a troll last night, and Uncle Al, was it Uncle Al or was it Dave? I think it was Uncle Al took care of the troll. Had a troll. My husband has an AR-15. Yeah, you can build them. You can get an upper and a lower, and you can get parts, and you can build one probably for about $500. Or you can spend $3,000-$4,000 on one. You know, depends on what you're getting. I'll have to risk that one. Go look at it, KP. I expect when I get your box out to you that you're going to do an unboxing. I think you'll like what I'm sending you. And I'll do a video, and you'll already see what you're getting before you get it, but you can still do an unboxing. And I gotta do a little trolling. It's just, you know, just I have fun doing it. And if you can't, and I laugh at myself more than anything. If you can't laugh at yourself, you know. $1,800. Yeah, everything's expensive. Everything really is expensive. But if you get, there's some places where you can get parts, and you can basically, if you know what you're doing, you can buy the parts, like an upper and a lower separately, and you can assemble one. You can get various parts, or you can get somebody that knows what they're doing, and they can build you one with parts. Yep. That is true. Gotta laugh. And, you know, it keeps you young. I mean, I might not look young, but I mean, you know, 62, I'm going to be 63 years old. Do you think that's old compared to the world? You know? If you look at the early generations in the scriptures, you know, they were living into their 900s. Like Yoda. When 900 years you'll be, look so good you will not. Or something to that effect. Yoda. Speaking of Yoda, hadn't seen Dave. Dave is in the hospital, and he'll probably be there for the next week. And he's isolated. Um, very good man, and his channel's been growing like crazy. I keep saying, when are you going to hit 10,000? He's somewhere. I think he's close to 8,000 now. And I used to be a bigger channel than him. You know, I used to stay about 200 ahead of him when we were both growing. And then he got 200 ahead of me because I really wasn't doing much. And then he stayed about 200 ahead of me, and then all of a sudden he just blew up. A few months ago, he just blew up, and he just started growing like you wouldn't believe. Well, you know, you can go over to his community wall and leave him a nice comment, you know, and let him know you pray for him. Yes. I spent about 45 minutes with him on the phone this morning. He is a friend. So, so letting you know this coming week, I work during the week. A lot of times I'm tired. I have been cooking for me and the wife. So sometimes I come home and then I spend an hour and a half cooking. And a lot of times I don't have the energy. So like if I think it's going to be one of those days when I don't, like tomorrow my wife's got to go have blood drawn. She's got to take the dogs to the vet. I've got to go pick up my tax. I've got to have tax preparation. I got to go meet him at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon about my tax when I get off work. So I probably won't be doing a live stream tomorrow, but I'll post it. I'll do a post. And I appreciate you commenting, and I appreciate the likes. It doesn't cost anything to leave a like. It doesn't cost anything to leave a comment except a little bit of time. So I always leave a like and a comment when I watch somebody, whether it's a short or a video or I look at the post. I always let you know that I was there. And that is I always do that. And I appreciate it when people do that on my behalf. But and you know, and I have some people that basically they will leave a like and they don't leave comments because they don't want anybody to know. They don't want their fingerprint. They don't. I've got a couple of friends that retired, and they very rarely will actually comment. One of them will once in a while, will say hello, but usually they don't comment. And they'll leave a like. They'll watch. Like I've got one of them. He watches the whole thing. You know, it's like I'm his entertainment. You know, for an hour in the evening sometimes. You gonna be on? You gonna be on? And we're getting old. Later, Uncle Al. Thank you for coming. And guess what? You know, I log the last page. The whole book. Every page is a different live stream. I'll start a new book. I'll start a new book tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow because I probably won't live stream tomorrow. Next time I do a live stream, I'll start a new book. I plan on well, you know, if you watch it, like it's like a little less than 6 minutes. If you go and you watch my channel update, it'll tell you what I'm planning on doing. And I was looking at it, you know, and had a certain number of views, and average view duration's like 3.5 minutes. So there's some people I'm like, okay, I went back and I looked to see, well, where am I at 3.5 minutes? What have I talked about in 3.5? And then I got like another 2.5 minutes to go or whatever. How much betadine? Oops, just sent me a text message. It's Dave. How much betadine should one have on hand? Betadine. And should it be for 4% or 10%? I'll have to answer that one. Anytime, so I just got a text from Yoda. Anytime when you're calculating supplies for SHTF, you have to calculate, well, for one, how many people are you supplying? How many people are going to be involved? How many people are you supplying? And that you got to do a take on that. You know, like you can say, well, I have enough food for a year for one person. And then there's two of you. Don't worry about it, Dave. I'll answer you. After the stream is over. But you know, you have to take into consideration how much how many people are you trying to take care of? How many people do you need to provide food for? So if you store up a year's worth of food for one person, and you're anticipating like 1,500 calories a day, or I could forget the calories, just anticipate meals. Say you do 2 meals a day. You do a late breakfast and then a supper. And you anticipate doing 2 meals a day during an SHTF situation. Or even say 3 meals a day. And you store up a year's worth of food. Well, if it's just you, that's a year's worth of food. But if there's 2 of you, that's 6 months worth of food. And if there's 4 of you, that's 3 months worth of food. Because you keep halving it. So if it's like you and the missus, and you got a couple of kids, or you got a daughter, and then you got a son-in-law, and you contemplate, well, I'm basically trying to, for 4 people. And it could be more than that. But let's just say 4 people. Then if I want a year's worth of food, I have to have a year's worth of food for 4 people. And that multiplies it out. That extends it out. Well, also temperature, Dave. Things will react to heat. Heat will age stuff like food, rations. High heat kills your shelf life on just about everything. So you have to watch for. Well, and you can you can say 2,000 calories a day. So if you're doing 2,000 calories a day, and let's say you're doing MREs, or you're doing some sort of APAC rations or FEMA, rations or whatever, a couple of those will give you over 2,000 calories. 2 MREs would probably be 2,300, 2,400 calories, depending on what menu it is. And then you may not eat every bit, and you pick and choose, and then you adjust. Like I got lots of extra stuff. So you get one of these. rations and it doesn't have peanut butter in it because they're worried about peanut allergies or they're worried about low sodium. And then I got a ration that's got two apple jellies. Well, I can basically just use one apple jelly and then one peanut butter because I got plenty of extras. Or it doesn't come with crackers. And I've got a couple of boxes of MRE crackers, 50 packs of crackers. You can add to it. You can switch and you can change things up. Same thing with beverages. You can do all sorts of stuff. So, like, antibiotic ointment. It's not expensive. You go to Walmart, you can get a couple of bucks a tube. Sometimes you get on sale, it's like $1 a tube. And it's something that you don't always have in first aid kits. It'd be one of those things like where you add. That's the reason, like when I get a first aid kit that I will use myself, I like to get one that's not a hard plastic kit. I like to get one that is in a Mylar type or that's in a material type pack, like the one I sent you, Dave. And that way you can add stuff to it. It's got room to expand. You can add stuff to it. Or if it doesn't have enough of what you want in it, you can add some more to it. And it's like choices and preferences. But truthfully, if something happened and the grid went down, our technology would basically recede 100 years. If you go back to 1925, think about how things were back in 1925. And if you go back 50 years further, 1875, that's when everything was being invented. The electric light, the streetcar, the telephone, Kodak film, elevators. Started using iron to build skyscrapers, bridges. That was 150 years ago. Right after the Civil War, a lot of stuff, the assembly line, the automobile. Medical science really improved. But we didn't get antibiotics until World War II. Like 1942, 1943 is when they discovered, discovered penicillin, which really did a lot to help extend our lives. I'm glad you like it. The difference in strength. Yeah, you start counting calories. Well, I tell y'all, I'm getting tired, and I got to work tomorrow. I still got stuff I need to do. When you get up in the morning, take your medication, drink your coffee, take a few moments to pray, do the Lord's Prayer, contemplate the day, get right with the day, and remember to be prepared. And everybody have a blessed day. And I probably won't do a live stream tomorrow because of everything's going on, but I'll send you a post. I'll do a post, and I'll probably drop a couple of shorts. Remember, Sir Guy 104. Sir Guy, SIRGUY 104. If you would, I'm trying to get him to 100 subscribers. He was at like 93. A real nice guy, good channel, and I think he would support those who support him. So please, if you would consider that, go over and check him out and connect. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. God bless, and we'll see you again for another edition of Coffee Talk. Bye-bye.